Yo guys, welcome back to the Final Whistle. We are back with another video. And yes, it's a bit different. I feel like everyone's talking about the title race, but no one's really, taking note of the teams at the bottom end of the table that might get relegated. But before we get into the discussion, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media. And as the video is going along, comment down below and let us know who do you guys think are going to get relegated, who do you think is going to survive, and who do you think is going to be key for this team. But guys, relegation battle. I mean, there's one team already. Opta already says they got a 99% chance of relegation.
There's two. Listen, Burnley and Sheffield, goodbye, man.
Yeah,
you haven't done anything in this league. You haven't been a great contribution.
Go on.
And hold on, you want to know something embarrassing?
Go on.
Chelsea recently drew to both of those teams. Oh my days. Oh my days.
Do you guys feel like Burnley, although yes, they deserve to go down because their points show it, but the way they play football,
it's not, bro. That's not.
It is nice.
It's not about
that.
that.
They play it the right way. They just don't got the quality.
It's not about that, and that's naivety from the manager, in my opinion.
It is, and stubbornness.
Because he realised that he had to change it up a little bit, change up the personnel, change up the style of play, and be a bit more compact and rigid. And then he started to get the draws and get the results. Bro, it's a results-based business.
Playing the right way also involves not conceding too many goals and shots, and it involves getting more than 20 points.
But also, that comes from games. Quality. It's stubbornness from Vincent. You
have to play with what you have.
You got to play with what you have, and you need to try and not concede and stay up. And
to be fair, Vincent hasn't been. It's Craig Bellamy that's in charge right now. But even still, it's like I think. I was excited for Burnley personally because of what they did in the Championship. And, like I said, there's always that one team that comes up and, disrupts it. It's like the team's been looting.
They won the league last season, didn't they?
Yeah, by far. Yeah. Absolutely. The style of play, they blew out of the ball.
The style of play, they've played good football. It's just unfortunate they just haven't got the quality to pull it through in the Prem. That's all it really is.
And I think they also need... I think they've made a lot of good young signings.
Yeah.
Odebear, Benson, all these types.
They're
all quite good players. However, I think they're lacking Premier League experience. If I was Vincent Kompany and I'm saying, okay, cool, yes, we did a madness in the Championship and now we're coming into the Premier League, players like, I don't want to say this because, players like Johnny Evans, for free from Leicester, it's probably a transfer I would have looked at as, he can probably play like 10 or 15 games for us, but also just provide that sort of stability, that know-how.
Is making relegation signings, yeah?
Huh?
Yeah, they are. And let's give another example. Weghorst. Because that's their player.
Burnley's player.
Weghorst is their player. And he was doing the job for you, man. So, bro, I'm not even trying to mock it. But at the end of the day, bro, it shows that he can at least do some hold-up play in the Prem.
And there's certain players that you need just... It's as a transitional period. If you want to actually not just be in the Prem for the sake of you don't want to be Norwich, just go up and go down, go up and go. You don't want to do that. You actually want to establish yourself in the Premier League and be like, no, we deserve to be here. Let's actually build. You're gonna need those like 33 to 38-year-olds that know the Prem inside out. Those type of players are like James Milner, where even if they don't even play 10, 15 games, the fact that they're there helping your current team and the young stars that you have. I guess, how can I say it? Acclimatise to the Premier League and just, get better in terms of, when it is 1-1 against these types of teams, you don't try and just sit back or you can kill these teams by doing, do you know what I'm saying?
This is the issue that company had though. If he gets the team promoted to the Premier League and then the owners are not willing to spend the money.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about free transfers and older players, but it's also wages as well.
That's true.
And if the owners are not willing to spend that money, then you're going to end up in a position right from the start of the season. You look at that Burnley squad and that's straight away, they're going back down. Yeah. Same as Sheffield United. Obviously, the ones that are, a bit less sure of is between
Luton and Everton.
Luton and Everton.
And even Forest.
And when you think about Everton, what's put them in that position where they're 17th? It's the points deduction.
It's the points.
Without that, if they had the points that they should have, then we'd say, relegation scrap is over. There's no relegation scrap.
Yeah. And who's that? Because of Sean Dyche. And he was previously at Burnley. And why did he do so well with Burnley? Because he knew what he had and he knew how to get what he needed out of those players.
100%.
You don't have to play the most fancy football to stay in the Premier League. Yeah. And how much were we hailing up and giving respect to Burnley's achievements for getting into Europe? We didn't care how they was playing. We still make jokes about it today, 4-4-2 Sean Dyche ball. We love it. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's the issue with Burnley that they have right now.
How about Nottingham Forest? Because I feel like they've obviously, I know they had a point deduction. I think they got 4 points taken off of them because of PSR breaches. But
I still think they underachieved. Man.
Yeah, I feel like
I was going to say, I think I made a mistake because I said Everton, but actually it's between Forest and Luton. Everton have a few more points. Forest and they have a couple games in hand.
Yeah.
But it's between Forest and Luton, really. And I think Forest have been underwhelming this season. I thought they started off so well. Awani leading their team, but then once he got injured,
just before AFCON was peak.
Yeah.
But even that, like Chris Wood has gotten, I think he's got on 12 goals this season.
Stat padded though, purple patch.
I hear it, but it's still a thing where for these types of teams, bro, you're by your hand for that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You need
and
it.
And then even someone like Elanga, I did a whole case study on. No.
Elanga and Cho have done well though at Nottingham Forest.
Elanga, I think he's finally been given the chance to play a consistent run of games, and we're seeing his output more so as a playmaker. And when he gets on the ball, I'm not gonna lie, his dribbling kind of sucks, but he's been given output. Do you know what I mean? And the player that they have as well in Morgan Gibbs-White. If they stay in the Premier League, they are gonna need to give him the maddest of wages, bonuses, all that sort of stuff to make him stay.
I think no matter what, he's got to cut. No matter what, he's got to cut. Especially if you look at the owner. The owner is a rash guy, bro. Like the wages that he gives out, the amount of players that he signs, him knowing that what he was doing was crazy, yet breaching the rules.
Yeah.
Like now they've employed a referee specialist to look into the VAR decisions. Focus on the results.
That's the difference between Luton and Nottingham Forest. When you look at Nottingham Forest, I mean, Elanga, I don't know why he gets dropped sometimes, but either way, they have those quality players like Elanga, Awani, Gibbs-White, who are like, they could be playing for a top half team, really. Mm-hmm. And then when you compare that to Luton, they have Ross Barkley. They have Doherty has been decent at times this season, but compared to the three players that I just mentioned for Nottingham Forest, I feel like in those fine moments, they can save Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Whereas Luton don't really have that. And I feel as though people got a bit excited earlier on in the season because of the fact that, it's Luton's first time in the Premier League, the fact that they got their stadium renovated. But when you look at how easily it is to score against them, yes, they play with passion and desire, but they concede way too many goals.
Way too many.
And to me, they've shown me that they're not ready for the Premier League.
And the energy that they put into the big 6 games, it's so sad to come away with nothing. Against Chelsea, harsh for them to come away with nothing. Arsenal,
Liverpool
came away with nothing. Liverpool came away with nothing.
Tottenham scraped to 1-0.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's unfortunate, but that's why I agree with Raf. I do think, sadly, the 3 teams that came up are going to be the 3 that go back down. I don't think Luton have enough to do. I know you've always touted them to be the team that might do something special and stay, but I just feel like Nottingham Forest have the more favourable fixtures. They have to play Sheffield and Burnley.
Yeah.
And I think...
But to be fair, they are away at City. They have got Chelsea at home, so they do have
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, they do have a mixed bag, and even like one team I didn't even mention. Well, none of us even mentioned is Crystal Palace. I know I think they're 15th. Or
I think
14th.
them and Brentford are okay.
They will be okay, but there is a possibility
they could get dragged into it. But
exactly, they could get dragged in and potentially finish 17th or 16th.
After that win against Liverpool, I think they're good.
Yeah. I hear it, but do you know what it is? It's like. They will win against Liverpool, but then they might do something like fall short against Bournemouth and play poorly.
Can we talk about Brentford for a second? Because I know they're not in a relegation scrap per se. They're in and around it. But when you actually look at their record, I think they've won 8 games, drawn 8 games, and lost 17 games. And I know Brentford are not this like Premier League that they've been in the Premier League for years and years and years. But when you look at their team, like when, for example, mate, this just shows that I'm not a confident Man United fan, but when we play Brentford, I'm not like, we're going to go and smash them, we're going to go beat them, type of thing. I always have a feeling in my mind that, they might give us something, do you know what I mean, or do well against us. But they've actually lost 17 games this season.
I was surprised that they stayed up last year. I thought they were going to get second.
I don't think that's even you not being a confident Man United fan, because even for Arsenal, I was like, Brentford, they're a tricky customer. Do you know what I mean? Especially kind of like what you said about Luton, when it comes to the top 6, these types of teams are always, a bit of a thorn in the side. They have a bit more grit. But I think Brentford's problem was the shock of not having Tony for that first half of the season.
And then they lost Wissa and Mbuemo to AFCON.
Yeah, so I think it's
and
not...
Onyeka,
and you know what I mean? They did bring in Neil Maupay, but Neil Maupay's not known for scoring goals.
He's just known for the chattings.
Exactly.
Literally.
So it's a thing where it's like... it's just been unfortunate circumstances for Thomas Frank's team, to be fair with you. And I don't think they'll get relegated, but it could look ugly within like the next 2-3 weeks.
Nah, I really don't think that will happen, especially with the fixtures that, you know, both Luton and Forest have coming up. But what I was going to say is what this shows me is the divide that's getting bigger between the Championship and the Premier League. I mean, it's very rare that you have 3 teams going up. And by this stage of the season,
it looks like they're all
2 of them are 99% chance to go down.
Yeah.
And Luton will most likely go down. And the only reason why Everton and Nottingham Forest are as close as they are is because of points deduction for spending too much.
Yeah.
So what that tells me is that how can a team like Burnley win the Championship, playing great football, get all that money, come up to the Prem, and be 19th place in this?
You know what? Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think that's because of, you know, like money creating the gulf, because, you know, they do get the parachute package and everything like that when they go back down. I feel like it's the managers, bro. They don't want to be pragmatic enough. They don't want to try. They don't want to try different stuff because if you look at what's you know, that Riz guy, the Riz guy at Luton, Rob Edwards, is that his name?
Oh yeah, Rob Edwards. Because the Twitter is it?
You know, like with him, he actually is the one who is sticking to that Luton style of play, and he's the one with the chance to actually stay up. The rest of them, they're not really, gone.
I think what did Company as well is because he was like, this is how I want to play and this is how we're going to play. Instead of being like, you know what, okay, maybe we can deviate for a couple games.
If he did it sooner, he would have had more chance. Look, now it's too late.
What my point is when you compare the 3 teams that are being relegated and the ones just above, we mentioned Brentford, Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest. I already mentioned the 3 Nottingham Forest players. Crystal Palace have Elise and Eze. They make the difference. You saw the way that they made the difference against Liverpool.
I hear it, but they came from the Championship.
When you've got Brentford, you've got Ivan Toney. Yeah, but they came from the Championship and they managed to play. When they came from the Championship into the Prem, they joined a team that already had some Premier League proven players.
Yeah.
When you look at those 3 bottom teams, they don't have like real quality in their teams. And that could be to do with bad decisions from the board, financial decisions, but it's also probably them not having enough money, bro, to sign.
It plays a part.
Ivan Toney could be playing for a top 6 team and he's in a relegation battle. Of course, Brentford are going to have the edge over those bottom 3 teams.
Yeah.
Same as Eze and Elise, as I mentioned, bro. So this is the reality of Premier League.
I'm going to quickly just read off some of the percentages from Opta. Obviously, we already said Sheffield United and Burnley, 99%. Luton have a 61% chance of relegation. Nottingham Forest have a 36% chance. Everton have 5%, and then Crystal Palace and Brentford have less than 1%.
Everton
chance.
only 5%. Fair enough.
Yeah,
They got like 2-3 games in hand.
Don't you? Yeah. Oh, okay, fair enough. Don't you think that game Everton Luton is going to be a big game though?
Oh, 100%. And I think it's good. You know, and this is one thing I actually love about the Premier League sometimes, and just football in general. It's the script. It's the relegation
6
battles.
pointers.
Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? It's
cup finals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've got 6 cup finals.
Real men.
Yeah, exactly. So these types of games, it's like, now you show what you're made of. Do you know what I mean? And that's when you start to see players that are like, you know, this is where they sort of make the streets won't forget these types of players. You know, like when Wigan were going through tumultuous times in the Premier League, Al Habsi was making crazy saves. When it was West Ham that were, you know, teetering around a couple years ago, it was Robert Snodgrass that was doing the business. You know what I mean? It's these types of players that now will write their names into folklore and folk history to save their club. So this, for me, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm looking forward to it. And I really, really hope Luton can do the job.
I feel like they can win that game, but then it might just be too little too late though, right?
Maybe, yeah. But
then
again...
The quality isn't there for Luton.
Is Adebayo injured?
No, he's back now.
I
want to like tout up our academy players, but Chong ain't it, bro. He ain't good. He's not good.
He's not bad though.
No, but he ain't good. He's not good.
I think his decision making is not good. I think that's what really.
He's not really been.
He's not been. You know what I mean?
Not anymore. No.
He was starting games though.
Yeah,
towards the start of the season.
Yeah.
But even still, Luton's front 3 is, as you said, there's parallels between Luton's front 3 and Brentford's front 3. Nottingham Forest's front 3, Everton's front 3. It's just not gonna happen, type of thing.
Yeah, it's
and
big
unfortunately
differences.
for me, they are gonna go down. So are we guys all of us saying that the 3 that came up are the 3 that are going down?
Yeah. I don't think unfortunately you're changing your mind because you said Luton was gonna survive, bro. So back it to the end of the season, bro.
No. I really want Luton to do well. It's just that I think, you know, the point you made about Nottingham Forest having too much quality to go down, I feel like that might be true. However, if they do go down, there's gonna be a lot of players up for grabs. That's
Yeah,
all
and
I'm
if
gonna
they
say.
do go down, then then they start to appeal, point deductions, and all. It could get messy for the Prem. I feel like the Prem probably want these three to go down because it's easier. The point deductions really didn't have a big impact on
Yeah.
it, but we'll see, man.
Who knows? You guys let us know in the comments below. Who do you think is going to go down? Do you think Luton have what it takes? Please, someone say yes. Do you think Everton might slip? Or do you think even Nottingham Forest, the big spenders, are going to get relegated? Let us know. As always, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you know exactly when we upload. Follow us on all of our socials. That's Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. It's all in the description below for you guys. And Raf, what is it that you always say?
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Peace.